All right, hey guys, Mr. Kyle, Myers Mathematics, and let's just jump into it. This is plotting the first n terms of each sequence and stating whether the graphical evidence suggests that the sequence converges or diverges. So converges means that it's going to level off at a particular number. Diverges means it doesn't do that. Basically, converges means there's an answer, and diverges means there's not an answer. And the answer, like the question is what's like the limit as n goes to infinity? Because if the limit as n goes to infinity is a number, then it converges to that number. And if it's not a number, if it goes to infinity, or it just doesn't like do anything at all, but it's not like leveling off at all, it can actually do like neither of those. If it's just not a number, then it diverges. So on the previous two, we kind of worked it out by hand, but the math for these is a little crazy sometimes. So I figured it would be better to just go ahead and type these out and just figure out what's going on here on Desmos. So we're going to do the math for this on the first row. So, and then the next rows I'll have for the points that we'll plot. Okay, so for the math, we would want to find the third term first, and the third term would be the square root, SQRT, of the term previous to that, which would be the second term, 2, times the term previous to that, which is 1. All right, and that comes out to the square root of 2, and I want it to be a square root, so I don't know if I like this because I want it to be a square root number, and I don't know if there's a way to fix that actually. Is there a way to fix that? I don't know. Let's see. ABC, absolute value, square root button, functions. No, I don't know if there is a way. There should be though. Well, that's whatever. It is what it is. So that's going to be the square root of 2, which comes out to be about 1.4-ish. So that'll give us our next term. But let's go ahead and graph our points. So our first point would be 1, 1. And I wonder if I could just do the next one right away. I can't. Can I do this? What if I do this? I want to try to graph all the points on like the same thing. Okay, comma doesn't work. That doesn't work. Does that work? Does that work? Wait, it does work. Aha, I can do a comma. Okay. I thought I had already tried a comma and a comma didn't work, but it is what it is. Okay. So 2, 2, as in when n is 2, a sub 2 is 2, right? And then for the third term, we got the square root of 2. All right, let's see. Next term, 4. Well, 4 would be the previous term, right? So the previous term, like a sub 3 we know is the square root of 2, so it's the square root of 2 times the term previous to that, which was 2. And that's about that number. So let's see. Man, I really wish they would do this. We might have to do some of these by hand, actually, because that would be the square root of 2 times 2, which, if we wrote that as a square root number, that would be the square root of 4, right? So, like, so that's the square root of 4. So that would be the same thing as the square root of 8, right? Square root of 2 times the square root of 4 is the square root of 8. So it's the square root of 8, or 8 to the 1/4 power. It's the 4th root of 8. So we could write that. It's the square root of 8. Let's just write it that way. Why not? Or you know what? We could probably just do the math like inside of the parentheses, and that way it's like the pure number, so to speak. So let's go ahead and put the square root of the square root. There's probably a way to do 4th root, but I don't feel like finding it right now. The square root of the square root is the 4th root. So that's that. So that's what we've got so far. You know what? I probably put a space, and that's probably what messed me up. So the next one is going to be 5, and then it's going to be the square root of, and then it's the previous term, which is the root of 8. I feel like there's a, where's the 4 through button? There's got to be more buttons. Where is the 4th root? I mean, I could always just put it to the power of 1/4, I guess. Functions? Nope, nope, nope. 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 None of that. The sum symbol will be helpful later. Well, that's annoying. Oh, here we go. Finally, at the very bottom. Goodness gracious. Wait, the nth root. Why can't I? There it is. Okay, so I just get rid of that. Oh, no, wait. No, I wanted the square root. Just kidding. LOL. Oh, great. Now it's not inside of it. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, hold on. Square root of the 4th root of 8. This is a really annoying number. Of the 4th root of 8 times the term previous to that, which was the square root of 2. Square root of 2. Phew. Okay. So that number. All right. So let's do one more because this is getting a little ridiculous now. So the next one is going to be 6, and then it's going to be the square root of the previous term, which this. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Work smarter, not harder. The previous term times the term previous to that, which was the square root of the square root of 8. Come on. Copy. And paste. There we go. Oh, why did my screen get brighter all of a sudden? That was weird. Okay. So this one definitely looks like it's leveling off, although it's really annoying to type in. Super annoying. But 1 and then 2, and then it comes down, and then it comes up, then it goes down, then it comes up. So yeah, it looks like this one's leveling off at well. It looks like it's leveling off around. What are these numbers here? Hold on. Can I? Yeah. So leveling off at, let's see, it went to 1.682, 1.5, 1.6. So yeah, it's leveling off somewhere in there. Like 1.7-ish or something maybe. Or no, 1.5, 1.6. Yeah, so maybe like between 1.5 and 1.6. Somewhere around there. So yeah, it definitely looks like it's leveling off. And you could keep going with it, right? Like you just keep going and writing out the next one, the next one, the next one. Or you could figure out the explicit formula. So I'll give you the same offer that I gave on the previous 2 problems. I did not find the explicit formula, but that's probably, if you can find the explicit formula, then you could just do that. You could just write the explicit formula and then just like have Desmos tell you, or your graphing calculator, just have it tell you like, okay, what's f of, the next one would have been 7. What's f of 7? What's f of 8? What's f of 9? And then that would be a faster way to get to 30, rather than having to do the math over and over and over and over and over, because that would take a long time. So let me know if you want to see what the explicit formula would look like, because you don't have to find it to answer the question, so I'm kind of leaving that part out. I'm just kind of like showing you what you would need to do to get to the next, to get to the next, to get to the next, and like what all of this means in a general way. So hopefully that's helpful. Let me know if that's something you want to see, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Oh, and don't forget, there's the 5 math mistakes everyone makes and how to avoid them. That's on my website. Link down in the description below. Blessings, y'all.